The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m., April 2nd, and we have a weekly jobless claims number, I believe, folks, 66.6 million. I have a chart of the S&Ps right now. We're positive by 31 points, trading at 2478, off the highs of overnight, though. Right now, you have the Dow up 279 at 21,012. NASDAQ up 89 points, make that 95 points, trading at 7533. Always interesting when we get jobs. Well, when we get economic numbers at 8:30 in the morning, nothing more interesting maybe than getting a 6.6 million jobs number. I'm going to jump over to the front page of CNBC. Where is their headline on the jobs? They're not up there yet, but it is 6.648. Gotta love the den, folks. And let's just jump over to the indices. We'll start off the Dow. Pretty muted response on that jobs number, right? 21,039. You could call it priced into the market, which is remarkable, but pretty muted reaction. 21,041 right now in the Dow. NASDAQ 100 trading at 7540. You back things up to the slide yesterday. We were as high as almost 8,000 early yesterday morning. Fast forward to today. That was Tuesday. Early Tuesday, we were at almost 8,000. The low yesterday, 74.35. Currently trading at 75.51. S&P 500 trading at 2486. It's really surprising that we get no reaction out of a jobs number of that magnitude, but nonetheless, that's the story that the market well aware that was coming. Crude oil, $22.47. Crude getting a bid overnight. China going to be refilling their reserves in the crude market at a low price, so that market trading a bit higher. Gold contract catching a little bit of a spike on that jobs number, and even in the last about half hour leading up to it, gold overnight was trading under $1,600, currently trading at $1,622 right now. And the euro US dollar trading under 110, now trading and looking for 109 at 109.07. In terms of the raw numbers out there, 952,000 cases, approaching 50,000 deaths, approaching 1 million cases in the U.S., over 215,000, unfortunately 5,000 plus deaths, 1,300 of those in New York City alone. Jumping over to some of the stocks making moves today in terms of headlines out there, and there's your headline for the jobless claims. Let's see if they have anything to add in terms of additional to that. So you have the weekly number, 6.6 new claims filed. The Labor Department reported Thursday. Economists surveyed looking for 3.1, a week after nearly 3.3. Yeah, before this coronavirus economic shutdown, never before had we had above 700,000, and we just had 3.8 and 6.6 million in the last 8 days of jobless claims. Stocks making moves. So going over some of the headlines, it is still earnings season. CarMax out with their numbers. $1.30 a share, 17 cents above estimate, revenue beating as well. CarMax said it has seen its demand progressively deteriorate amid the spread of the coronavirus. I would not be surprised at that. KMX is their symbol. So you got a little bit of a pop, 52.36. They beat on both sides of it, so trading up about $2 so far, but the S&Ps are up over 8% themselves. Walgreens also came in with their earnings, 5 cents a share ahead of estimates, quarterly profit of $1.52 a share. Revenue also came in above the projections. However, the company said the financial impact of the COVID-19 outbreak still uncertain. I would say that is not surprising. Whoops, jumping over to their symbol, Walgreens Boots. What are they? WBA. So getting a boost on that from 43 to 44.36. Stanley Black & Decker, toolmaker, withdrawing its financial outlook, says the virus will hurt its results due to demand disruptions. Disney, I'm going to pull up, upgraded. They're getting an overweight from a neutral at Atlantic Equities, which has cut estimates for Disney, but said it believes the recent weakness in the stock has been overdone. I've talked about this a little bit myself in terms of the future for Disney being probably in streaming, always the content that they're delivering. I'm sure the park revenue doesn't hurt, but on a longer term time frame for Disney, you see the run up to 153 on November 25th. and quite a fall off from under $80. Going to open this morning at about $96.20 for Disney. Boeing offering voluntary layoffs, allowing eligible employees to leave the jet maker with a pay and benefits package as they try and trim their expenses at Boeing. BA, there's your daily chart, going to open at almost 133, made it to 89 from a high of 446 just about 1 year ago. AMC Entertainment hired restructuring lawyers, according to the Journal. This comes as the movie theater operators' locations are all closed to do. Yeah, no one really attending the movies right now, folks, as you know. AMC going to open at about where it closed, $262, but check out that drop-off, folks, from $30 just less than a year ago to $1.95. Oh no, excuse me. That's longer than a year ago. Let's put it on a year daily. From $17 down to almost $2. Yeah, remarkable. Carnival, so they raised $6.25 billion in a new debt and equity sale, including $4 billion in bonds with a yield of 11.5%. Carnival had paid just a 1% yield when it raised debt in October. Quite a difference there. We'll jump over to that headline in a moment. What, CCL it is? Yes, CCL. There's your action in CCL, going to open even lower at under $8, putting this on a shorter time frame. There's your trade lower, under $8 now for Carnival. And look at the drop-off yesterday. Just yesterday, in 2 days, if you tried to, catch a falling knife in Carnival, you just went from above $13 down to $8. You're losing $5 on a $13 stock in the span of 2 days when it's already been decimated. So be very careful with especially the likes of the cruise companies, maybe those airlines faring a little bit better. Altria sued by the Federal Trade Commission in a move aimed at forcing that tobacco producer to sell its stake in Juul. So the FTC claims that Altria's move to buy the stake in Juul was an anti-competitive move. Altria said it disagreed, surprise, surprise, and that they misunderstood the facts. I would be hard-pressed to say that they don't consider Juul a direct competitor to cigarettes and that they may be trying to take them out before they can grow. Going to open pretty much where they were yesterday. Maybe the market knew that that was coming. And Shopify suspends its forecast. The Canadian e-commerce company pointing to uncertainty surrounding the coronavirus outbreak. Yeah, not surprising. They are a merchant and see that sell-off. This company has just done so well. We use Shopify ourselves. Check out that run from 125 up to almost 600 and sitting at about 384. But of course, there's going to be a slowdown when you have basically small businesses running their platforms and so forth. So GE seeking to replace its $20 billion in revolving loans with a $15 billion shorter maturity credit, according to Reuters, and PVH reporting earnings as well. $1.88 a share, beating $1.81. They are an apparel maker. Revenue also came in above forecast. However, they said they're having a significant impact. PVH. That stock going to open a little bit higher. Let's put it on a shorter time frame, as I saw earlier. And there's your numbers from $32.63 up to about $34. As we go into the break, let's check out the VIX this morning. VIX trading at 54.59, little bit of elevation right off that jobs number as the market pulling back a bit. Back to your S&P chart as we go into the break. There's your sell-off, folks. From that jobs number, just under about 24.85, now trading up only 14 points at 24.64. Stay tuned. We'll be coming back from the break, see what else we have on tap for Thursday trading. I'll be right back, folks.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The gold report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the gold report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the gold report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, everybody. S&P's pairing the gains, up now only 8 points. We were basically almost flat at one point, and we were basically 50 S&P points off of where we were trading at just as of 8 a.m. this morning. I mean, you put this on an hourly bar for some context. There's your pullback. That bar with a high of 24.98, a low of 24.48. 50 S&P points and just near the bottom of that bar right now. And where we're approaching, let's see where the lows were yesterday. You're looking at 24.34. We made it under 24.50, putting it back on a 15-minute time frame. And the low last week of 24.02 sticking out a bit, going back a little bit further. Of course, 21.74, a far cry from there, but is that the low? Yes, it is. 24.50 about down there as well. So we're coming down to some areas. I mean, if we cross this area over here, that is last Wednesday, that's a low of 23.87. You see the quick slide down that it could be to that area. 6.6 million jobs. That puts the 2-week total at about 10 million jobs. Looking at the other indices, the Dow right now, 20,812. We're down about 300 points from before that number. NASDAQ 100 trading at 74.63. Crude oil market, $22.19. Crude giving back a bit as well. Gold contract trading higher at 16.20, and the Euro US dollar at 109.08. In terms of stories out there catching my eye, WeWork continues to be in the headlines and continues to be in the headlines in a not-so-good way. Troubles deepen as SoftBank pulls its $3 billion tender offer. SoftBank said it has terminated a $3 billion tender offer for additional WeWork shares agreed last year with shareholders. The move drew threats of legal action and plunging the floundering office space company further into crisis. SoftBank said in a statement that given its duty to its shareholders, it could no longer proceed with the deal, citing criminal and civil probes into the startup, WeWork's failure to restructure a joint venture in China, and the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Yesterday, it came out Macy's not going to be in the S&P 500. That company with a market cap of only about $1.5 billion. So they're going to be, I believe, in the S&P 600 small cap. Macy's is the first of what could be a retail and energy purge from the S&P 500. I mean, drastic numbers when you look at in terms of retail, especially that commodity, not really commodity, definitely energy market. The retailer's market cap had dropped from $6 billion just in basically the middle of February to $1.5 billion today, let alone the slide they had prior to that. Several other retailers and energy companies could be on the cutting block as well. Kohl's, Nordstrom, Gap, and Hanes brands all have market caps in the $2 billion range. So do plenty of energy companies such as Apache, Devon, and Marathon Oil. Be aware of that, folks. If you purchase a company in the S&P 500 thinking it's battered, it's bound to come back, and that company gets ousted before it can. A lot of funds have to sell that, an immediate step down. Checking out Macy's shares, putting it on a little bit of a shorter time frame because you see the low yesterday down to 438. There's your action at the end of the day, going to open at about 446. Some context on Macy's. Quite the drop-off from just in February, as they talked about, from $17 to almost $18 down to $438. Quite a haircut. Pulling up some of the ride-sharing companies, just in terms of stocks with some volatility. Uber pulling back. I mean, the market was down 4% yesterday. Uber pulling back. I heard the interview. It just happened to come up in some things I was listening to earlier this morning in terms of their CEO, talking about the cash reserves they have. I mean, if things are just super dire, I think he said if they lose 80% of their business, which is to them a basically worst case scenario, they still have $4 billion of cash plus a $2 billion line of revolving credit. And that's where you really saw that stock low. I believe he called a special call with analysts to discuss what was going on, to basically tell them where they were positioned in the market. The analysts loved it. We're still battered from 43 down to 13. Of course, rides drying up everywhere. You're not going out to normal business in terms of airlines, airports, not making vacation-style Uber trips, but also not making trips out, whether it's maybe with friends on a Friday, Saturday night, kids in college using it, all of those rides. But I imagine Uber Eats getting a lot more customers than they ever had prior. Maybe if people are signing up for Uber Eats, maybe they start using Uber when they never did. It's possible. I imagine that getting a pop and lift. Not going anywhere as well, not as strong as Uber for sure. If you remember, prior to all this, Uber came out with their earnings on February 6th, so coronavirus not really into things at all, and that is when they told the world that they were going to be profitable, cash flow positive towards the end of this year as opposed to the end of next year. The market priced up from maybe it was like about 37 to a high of 41. And then what happened, though, is that, of course, coronavirus hit. Now, Lyft got the same pop on Uber's numbers, which was February 6th. Yep, there you go. You see it the 6th. Trade from about 45 up to 55. That was their earnings, and they disappointed, saying they are not updating when they're going to be cash flow positive. Still, the end of next year, not keeping pace with Uber. So be aware if you're looking at either of those. One of them, just February, told the world they're going to be profitable. Now, this is in a pre-coronavirus world, but that their cash flow was in a much better position than Lyft's. Nonetheless, I imagine Lyft's going to be around 2 in the long run. And when Uber got a big acceleration from their lows, Lyft did as well, trading pretty much on par. But I imagine Uber the leader and going to be the leader in cash flow positivity. Regardless, even if they both have to push things back, if Uber has to push things back from the end of this year to the middle to late of next year, then Lyft's probably going to have to push it back from end of next year to the end of the following year or something to that degree. Taking a look at Boeing this morning. Boeing going to open a bit positive. Talk about battered stocks. This one, a tough one to peg. I mean, look at the pop we just got up to 186. This is, again, trying to pick. We went over Carnival, right? You could have thought maybe that you had that low at 89. All right, we got some action up to 175, maybe 180, and you just could have gotten decimated from 180 down $50. Down about 30% almost in the span of 5 trading days in Boeing, trying to catch that falling life in the long run. Yes, I imagine they're going to be around. The president had high things to say about them in one of his press conferences, which I believe began some of this acceleration somewhere over here. But they're still in rough shape for the foreseeable future for sure. American Airlines, let's jump around some of the airlines, talk about some volatility in these stocks. From 950 up to 17, back down to 11, all in about the last 10 trading days. Delta Airlines, that low 1911, and more locally, Southwest 32.75, the low about 29.15. Taking a look at some of the FANG stocks coming into the open, putting this on a 15-minute time frame. Amazon going to open a bit in the positive. S&P's right now positive by 15 points, so Amazon on par, opening about $3 to $5. Apple shares. You do see the recent drop-off, though, right on, why don't we zoom it in, on the weekly jobless claims number. We were trading at above 1920 and now at about 1910. Apple shares were floating at about 245. You're looking at about 241. Google shares, we're off the highs a bit, but still positive by about $6. And Facebook shares right now trading at about where we closed at yesterday. Pulling up the commodities, I talked about crude. There's your low of 1927 earlier in the week. Those prices at 22.36. And we'll take a look at gold and how we're trading right now as we go into the break. 1620 climbing higher from 1576. That low Tuesday night. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come back for the final segment of the show, see what else we have on tap for Thursday. We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Markets holding on to positive territory. S&P's up 8 points, 24.56. You get the Dow up only 55 points right now, trading at 20,795. NASDAQ clinging on to 6 positive points, trading at 74.43. And I'm going to pull up the 10-year Treasury. We're currently sitting at a yield under 0.595% on that 10-year Treasury right now. If you head on over to the front page of TFNN, folks, we have the open house in the Tiger's Den going on. Don't forget to check that out. While that is going on, you can pull it up. Just enter the promo code OPEN at checkout. You subscribe, select a month, enter the word OPEN in the promo code. Add that code, and you'll see it applied. You pay nothing for 30 days. You'll be in the Tiger's Den as part of that open house. You can cancel it anytime and pay nothing. I encourage you to check that out. And also, I know we've been talking about it, but if you haven't checked it out yet, folks, the clip Tom did on Tuesday night talking about the SBA grant and loan eligibility as part of the COVID-19 disaster relief stimulus bill recently passed. Check that out. 2 YouTube clips up here with the different programs. The first one, very simple, to get a $10,000 loan that turns into a grant. And that's, you get that in 72 hours, turns into a grant if you meet certain conditions, so you don't even have to pay it back. And then a second one for loans up to a magnitude of dollars, depending on the size of your business, and all the links for the Chamber of Commerce, the application for that $10,000 loan that could turn into a grant, as well as general information. Check that out all on the front page of TFNN. And as we wrap it up, let's zoom in on that S&P. Struggling to find a bid, down at 2460. The lows yesterday afternoon in the S&Ps, 2451, but we were just flirting with 2500 at 8 a.m. Also above that number briefly to 2502 at 4 a.m. Should be an interesting day in the markets, and we get non-farm payrolls tomorrow as well. Talk about a lot of action. Should be an interesting number, especially in like the last 2 weeks. We now have weekly jobless claims of about 10 million people with weekly jobless claims. Stay tuned, folks. Larry Pesavento live at 9. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Live programming all day at TFNN. Stay tuned, folks. Larry Pesavento coming up right now. We'll be right back.